Hello, everyone. Welcome in and welcome back to episode 5 of the season 35 edition of the Big Pod. Now, stay with me a moment as I change the thumbnail so it's not my basic banner. Should really do it pretty quickly nowadays. Go down here, go here. Okay, now I just gotta wait for saving things. It's gonna save. I'll just move on. So, first thing I wanted to address is you guys might have seen it in the live chat. I was having a conversation with someone. They were talking about putting in stats, whether we as a league care about kicking stats, punting, kick returns, and all that. And I was kind of curious about it, so I did end up looking at the rules. The rules do explicitly state that you should be putting in all stats except for maybe if your wide receiver makes a tackle on an interception. So I just want to kind of clear that up. And then I did look through all your guys' stats to kind of see was I off base? Are a lot of guys just doing their passing, high rushing, high receiving? And you guys all put in all your stats. All 18 of you, when you guys put in your stats, you put in every single stat. So I just want to commemorate you guys for that. Super proud of you guys for actually taking the time to do that, because I know it does take a lot of time. That was kind of the frustration I was voicing, is that it's not easy to put in all the defensive players' stats, like the 2 tackles that your defensive tackle gets. To put all that in takes a lot of time, so I appreciate you guys taking the time to do that, and it really shows you guys do care about the league, and I really appreciate that. Additionally, we are headed into block 6, and we've yet to have a sim game, which I'm also super appreciative of you guys for that. That's super awesome that you guys have taken the time to work these games into your busy schedules. I know a lot of you guys have kids, work, spouses, parents, a lot of different things you guys have to deal with outside of this, but you guys have still found time to get all your games in. And a lot of you guys have been playing really well in your games too, which is awesome. So with that out of the way, it's definitely time to start the actual podcast. And of course, we always start with the same team, the Illinois Fighting Illini. Now, Sneal Shiesty, he hasn't played any games since I last spoke with you guys. I guess the only game he has played is his Beefy Cup game. He lost to Rock by 20. Fortunately, Rock's been on quite a roll. Shout out to Andy. And won that one pretty easily at home. But that doesn't mean I can't preview the one game that Illinois has coming up, which is at home, and it's against a formerly undefeated team in the Big Ten, the Maryland Terrapins. Wilds, as I'm sure everyone knows, was undefeated going into this previous block, and then did drop his game to Pat. It was a really close one. I'll touch on it very soon when I talk about Pat. But because he's been undefeated for so long, and he's been winning games that you really don't expect him to, I am going to stick with Wilds. I fully expect Wilds to honestly win out to finish the season. But he's got a lot of big games ahead of him, and this is one of them. I think it's going to be a super close game, but I do think Wilds has kind of figured a lot of stuff out, as evidenced by what he scored, 50 points on Marion. Let's see, I have it right in front of me. Yeah, scoring 58 on Marion. I know Marion, I'm sure, was burnt out. Might not have been putting his full effort in the game, but to score 58 points on this game isn't easy, especially with Maryland. So shout out to Wilds for that, and I do think Wilds is going to win this game. So unfortunately, I think Sneal's going to go 0-1 in this block, and then he's all done with the Beefy Cup. So that's all he's got, is this one game, this block. Then he still has his outstanding games against Washington and Rutgers, which unfortunately I think he'll lose both of those as well. Okay, moving on, we have Pat. Pat played... Man, did he play 4 games since I last talked with you guys? I think he did. So we'll just kind of go in order. His first one against Oregon, fortunately, wasn't quite able to pull off what would have been, in my mind, a pretty monumental upset, especially being on the road against the Ducks. Lost this one by 16. I was able to keep it kind of close, but unfortunately, Shell just has all those abilities that Pat doesn't really have. And even though overall wise, it kind of looks like Pat's team would be better. I do agree the Ducks are better, especially that wide receiver Shell has with the platinum shifty is quite the difference maker. So wasn't surprised with that one. I would say probably the most impressive game I've seen from Pat in his entire time with the Big Ten was this win he had against Michigan State. I watched the entirety of this game. I can't remember. I was doing something else because I feel like I had it on my phone and something else was on the TV. But I watched the entirety of it. And unfortunately, Pat really cut this one close because I was watching Wake Forest game, so I guess I was watching two NDLD games. But yeah, he cut this one really close. He was down 7 in the 4th, threw a pick, so MSU had the ball. But right after he threw that pick, he was able to get a stop. I want to say MSU went 3 and out, and then Pat got the ball back and was able to score. I think he scored 14 or 21 unanswered to be able to come away with a. Hold on, I guess these. Oh no, I don't. Oh gosh, sorry. But Pat was able to score, I think, 21 unanswered and then gave up a touchdown late, which didn't really matter, to walk away with the 7-point victory, 56-49 at home. So, like I was telling Pat in the live chat, really impressive win by him. He definitely could have easily crumbled. I thought personally it was going to be a little Pat crumble game, despite having this team advantage, but he really stuck together and won that one. And I think that shows a lot about how he's kind of changed as a player, because I know in the past he easily could have seen him spiral there, and he's definitely figured out to run the ball a lot more, which has helped him. His other game, geez, I'm sorry guys, I got a runny nose. His other game, another game that he played against UCLA. Vic, I was able to win that one by 25. Pretty expected, I think. Pat matches up well with Vic because they both play like very like sound styles of football, whereas like when Pat plays against the guys who will kind of run these more video gamey type offenses, you can kind of struggle with them more when they can pass the ball and kind of sling it around a lot more. And then his final game was against Wilds. Like I kind of alluded to, this one doesn't look as close as it was on the scoreboard. So Pat won the game 42-14. This definitely was not a 28-point victory by any means. I would say that realistically, what was happening was, I want to say the score was like 14-7. Pat was up, and then Wilds was driving, got to, I want to say like Pat's 30, had a 4th and 2 he's about to go for, and unfortunately kind of got hit with that late audible false start, forced him to kick a 50-yard field goal, which he missed, and then Pat went and scored like 14 or 21 unanswered after that. So that false start, I think if Wilds gets that 4th down, we're talking about a completely different game. So definitely a lot closer, but great job by Pat being able to win it. His first win against an undefeated team since, I guess, when he played Air Force, they were probably undefeated. So good for him. Not an easy win by any means. And he doesn't have an easy block coming up by any means either, because his first game is on the road. He's going to he's going to take on the Nittany Lions of Penn State and Andy. I think this is going to be a really competitive one. I think this is one where I think it's more suitable to Pat, because Andy does like to do similar things a lot. I know Andy does like to use cover shells, which can mess up Pat as well. But I think, having seen that win against MSU, I think I'm going to be picking Pat the rest of the way. I mean, he only has 3 games left. Penn State, Wisconsin, Purdue, I think he wins all 3 of those. So even though Pat's not going to make the Big Ten championship, I do think he could slide in as one of the last at-large teams for the CFP. So saying that, I think he's going to win this game against Penn State, and that's going to kind of solidify his spot as an at-large team with the 2 games he has coming up. One of which is at home, and it's this block. And he's going to host the Wisconsin Badgers. And unfortunately, Nidler still doesn't have a win. I don't think that's going to change in a game like this, where Pat's kind of figured out, hey, if I just run the ball, my running back's a lot better than most of these defensive lines in the Big Ten. That's why I think the Andy game will kind of be interesting, because I think Andy will be able to stop the run a little better given his high-rated defense. But Wisconsin, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to be able to do much. So I think Pat runs all over. Nidler wins this one pretty easily by 21, I'd say. Whereas I think he only beats Andy by 17. And then, let's see, Beefy Cup-wise, he played Rain, lost by 1, which I think is, again, really impressive at Alabama, losing by only a single point. So, shout out to Pat. He definitely had a great block this past block. I hope he continues to have a good one. Okay, and now for a guy who unfortunately had probably his worst block of the year, Brady in Iowa. He played 2 games. No, he only played 1 game, I'm pretty sure. Because I'm pretty sure he'd already played the Andy game when I talked to you guys last. But this this Minnesota game was new. Battle for Floyd of Rosedale, I gotta say, I wasn't really expecting NTX to come away with this one. I think I use the analogy of if it's hit red 7 times in a row, are you the guy who bets red for the 8th time, or are you the guy who says it must hit black eventually? This is a time where it really hit black because NTX won this game by 13 points. So a rare game that NTX plays in that wasn't a single score game, and he's actually on the winning end of it. So very impressive by NTX to stop Brady keeping to 13 points. NTX is kind of kind of telling me in private there are a couple tells that Brady has that he had kind of figured out, so he knew what play was coming a lot of times, which of course makes it a lot easier to stop. And I think that's a big reason why I was able to hold him to 13 points. So hopefully Brady kind of figures those tells out. I'm sure in his mind he kind of knows them, but to kind of hear, if he listens, to hear that other people know them as well, it's important to kind of first step. Man, I should make sure you guys can hear me because I'm going to feel like a little new if you can. I'm sure you can, though. And then it's the only game he played. So then his 2 games this block, unfortunately for Brady, is not going to be easy ones. He's got Shell. I think Shell's going to be pretty dominant. He's just... Yeah, you can hear me, but... Okay. Unfortunately, I think Shell's going to be pretty dominant. Brady's pass defense hasn't always seemed to be the greatest, so I think Shell's going to kind of throw all over him. And then in terms of like what Brady's able to do, I think Shell just has so many abilities on defense. He's going to be able to shut him down pretty easily. But then his other game I actually think is going to be... Oh yeah, what's up, Andy? His other game I think is going to be pretty good. Is on the road, but it's against USC, who's quite a good user in KDOT. KDOT's struggled lately, though. He's lost quite a bit. Yeah, he's on a 3-game losing streak. I think it's actually a 4-game, just with how we put the games in. But I think that, I think that this is going to be a really good game because I think KDOT's someone who is very cerebral as an opponent. I wonder if he picks up on those tells I was kind of talking about with Brady earlier and really shuts him down, or if that's not something he notices and then he still kind of struggles. I think he's still figuring out defense a lot is kind of what KDOT. Sorry, STs. Okay. I think KDOT's kind of still figuring out defense from what he's been telling me. I kind of try and chat with guys, and if he figures that out by the time he plays Brady, could go well for him. If he doesn't, it could be a difficult one. Whereas I think Brady's going to do a pretty good job stopping KDOT because he plays well where he kind of shuts guys down those last 20 yards, and that is where KDOT struggles. So all that being said, I am going to take KDOT to win just because I think Brady's like super checked out right now. I think he's in the scrimmage channel, like scrimming with G5 teams because he's so like, oh geez, dude, I don't want anymore. I want to move on. So I think because of that, he's probably not going to win it. So I'm going to take KDOT in this one. I also think Brady's going to go 0-2 this block. And then he's got a Beefy Cup game against D Nazi. Still hasn't been played. I think he would lose that as well if he were to play it. Now moving on to, I think, one of the surprises of the season, and fortunately his Cinderella run kind of took a hit. Wilds, he played one game he won, but I mean, I think everyone kind of knew. He beat Army, kind of smoked him. Smoked Rye by 29, 42, 13. But I think more interestingly, the more interesting game, and it was a game of the week, so this is a game against Pat. Unfortunately, lost this one by 28. As I alluded to earlier when it was Talking about Pat, I don't think it was a 28-point difference or a couple plays late in the game that kind of went the way of Pat. Didn't quite work out. But now when you look at Wild's resume, sure, it's possible he kind of finishes 11-1, but I mean, to give him an at-large bid when he'll likely end the season with 2 Q2 wins. He'll be 2-0 against Q2, but then he'll be 0-1 against Q1. He's really going to have a G5 type resume. I don't think you can rationally put him in as an at-large team, even though he's going to have some nice wins. But his best win by far probably will end up being Michigan if he's able to beat 6 at home. And I think that, like, if you're going to be comparing him to other at-large teams, especially the guys in the SEC, I just don't think he's going to quite be able to cut it. So, unfortunately, I think Wild's CFP chances ended with the loss to Pat. But I don't think his Big Ten title game chances haven't quite ended. He only has one loss. Could be some weird tiebreakers that kind of work out for him. Just because, maybe not, because he lost to Pat and other guys will have beaten Pat. I don't know. But still a chance at the Big Ten title game, so maybe he could sneak in there, but I don't see him making it as an at-large. And then if we go back to his schedule, he's got 2 games this block. One against Chrome and Rutgers they are both on the road. One against Chrome and Rutgers. I think it's going to be kind of an interesting one because Wilds does a good job of defending when he needs to, but I've also, like, having played him a couple times, you can definitely... I think his pass defense is probably the weakest of the 4 facets of the game. If you go run offense, pass offense, run defense, pass defense, I would say his pass defense is probably his weakest asset. And then Chrome's biggest asset is pass offense. So kind of interesting matchup. I think it'll come down far more to how Chrome's defense plays, which of course is statistically horrible. He's yet to play a game all season. Well, he's played one game all season where he's given up less than 30 points. He's played in several games where he's given up a couple games where he's given up 60, one where he's given up 50. So I think Wilds continues to score a lot. So I do think Wilds is going to come away with the victory in this one, just off of offense more so than defense. And then Wilds' other game, also on the road, he's going to take on the Illinois Fighting Illini. And I kind of touched on this one earlier. Definitely going to pick Wilds to win this one, even though there's quite a bit of a difference, just because I think Wilds has found a way to win games and to even be as close with Pat as I think he truly was. I think is really impressive, and I do think he will win out and find himself in committee talks, but I don't think they're going to go his way. And then Beefy Cup wise, he beat Marion as I alluded to, so he's going to have around a 32 game at some point. Not sure who that's going to be against. Now we got first team in the mitten, 6 feet. I don't think, okay, so he's played 2 games since the last episode. One was a kind of a catch-up game against USC. It was a couple blocks ago, but was able to get it in. This was a great game, real back and forth between 2 pretty evenly matched coaches. And I think very intriguing that 6 was able to win on the road with Bryce Underwood, especially at a place like USC. I know not the best stadium atmosphere in the world, but of course, the game fills the stadium for all of them. And I would assume USC gets a little bit more of a bump just because of the capacity. I don't know though. But yeah, it was a very impressive win. Had some nice pick sixes to kind of come away with the victory. And then his other game was at home. It was against Purdue, which a lot closer than I'm sure 6 would like. He won 17-6, but good job by him keeping Robbie and Purdue out of the win column, because there's definitely times where that was a game like you worry about, especially with 6, where he's kind of like potentially could make a Big Ten title game. He doesn't. If he's able to beat Ohio State and Maryland, and then, so you don't really know, and then he's kind of like, he's in the top 25 still, so you never really know. And Purdue, Robbie's came out and said he fully expects to win at least one of his games against Michigan, Ohio State, and I think Indiana is the other one he was saying he expects to win. So he expects to win one of them, and I think Michigan was probably his best shot, so Definitely a good win by 6. And then if we preview his games coming up this block, one of them's a out-of-conference game really late in the year. Hold on, I gotta sneeze again. Dang it, I didn't sneeze. It's against a MAC school. It's the team I coach. It's at home, though. So huge game for me and 6. Of course, 6, you hate to lose to a G5 team. 6 is honestly, you didn't hear it from me, but you did hear it from me. 6 is a little bit of a G5 hater. I've seen him in chats being like, oh, the G5 guys arguing over who gets to get blown out by 35 in the playoff. Like, I don't know. The disrespect, can't afford to lose this one if I'm 6. The words I've seen. But, so of course that's going to motivate me. And then, a big motivation game for me. I think I have a lot more riding on it than he does. So hopefully that works out for me. But I do think 6 is going to win it just because it being at the big house, it's so frustrating to play there as CMU. So I think his just talent and home field advantage is enough to come away with the victory. And then his other game is on the road. It's a Big Ten game. It's against Northwestern. Again, I think this is a game in real life. Michigan need a walk-off field goal to win. I think, again, it's just so tough for me to pick 6 with that Bryce Underwood, how he plays on the road. I think Bruce Bagel controls the ball a little better, so I am going to take Bruce Bagel in this one. I do think just with Bryce Underwood being on the road, it's going to be a tough one to win. But could easily see 6 win. I think it's going to be a great game. So I'll be looking forward to it when I see it pop up in the live stream. I'll definitely check this one out. And then Beefy Cup Wise didn't make it out of the first round, or the group stage. Okay, and then the other team, the Mitten, he's played some interesting games, just a ton of tight games. So Raptor, let's see the ones he's played. So he's played UCLA. This is an incredible game. I hope you guys are watching the fourth quarter. This one was awesome. I think Raptor scored with 20 seconds left to take a 4-point lead to win it. Just a great back and forth game from both coaches. And then his other game against Pat, I alluded to already. He was up 7 with ball in the fourth, and Pat had to just kind of locked in, got some stops that I wasn't expecting him to get. Unfortunately, he was able to run the ball really well on Raptor. I think that's kind of the big thing he's got to figure out is how to stop the run a little better. And then his other game was against Matt in Minnesota. I'm pretty sure Matt went for a 2-point conversion late to be able to win this one. Kind of alluded to the fact that the more he lets EA give him a chance to cheese him, the more they will. So he kind of wanted to end it on one play. Was able to get the victory, 50-49. So just 3 blood pressure raising games that Raptor had to play since I last spoke with you guys. So unfortunately, he ended up being 1-2 in them. Despite easily could have been 3-0. So with that, I think he's closing on his win goal. It's going to be tough for him to reach. He's got only 1 game this block. It's against Andy. Is Andy still listening? Yeah, I think he's here. So he's got 1 game. Oh, it's at home, so I got to flip it. He's got 1 game. It's against Andy. I think. I don't know. Raptor's playing so much better than when he played Cal. Obviously, Chop smoked him. When he played me, I thought he had gotten better than when he played Cal. And then since then, he's just been playing really well. So I think this game's a lot closer than you would kind of expect, given the records. They're kind of Andy's 5-2, Raptors 3-5. But I think Raptor keeps it close. He also has that home field advantage, which I think will help a lot. But I do expect Andy to come away with the victory in this one just because Raptor still he kind of makes those ill-advised throws. If you can get him into 3rd and long, I think Andy will be able to get him into 3rd and long with that D-line that he has at Penn State. And if he's able to get into that, I think Raptor kind of throws those picks and it kind of snowballs from there. I think it'll be a super close game, though, but I do expect Andy to win this one. And then Beefy Cup-wise, Raptor did not make it out of the group stage. Okay. And then next team, we got Matt in Minnesota. He played, 2 games. And I think for the first time in his NDL career, he went 2-0 in a block. And with two very impressive wins. As I said before, since we talked about Iowa, was able to beat Iowa by 13 and hold Iowa to only 13 points with a team that many people for the season were saying he could be running all over everyone. You might have no chance of stopping his run, but Matt kind of figured it out. Like I said, some tells that he was able to pick up on, which props to him, shows how much time and effort he puts into the league to be able to pick up on tells. Definitely, I could definitely see him as someone who's doing some good scouting going into games. And then his other win, I mean, I just talked about it, but it's super impressive that Matt was able to come away with a close win for once. You just see him so rarely, but it's awesome that he was able to do it and beat Raptor by 1 on a late 2-point conversion. And then he has one game this block. It's on the road. Oh wait, we're gonna sneeze again. Okay, I don't know. Dang, it's the sneeze episode. What the heck? Okay. We're gonna see if Matt can come away with the victory on the road at Oregon. I don't think he will, just because, like I said, I think Matt's similar to Wild's. I think Matt's biggest weakness is his pass defense, and Shell's biggest strength is his pass offense. So I think this one's not going to be particularly close, especially being in Eugene. But hope maybe Matt can give him a game. But I mean, just given how like the Ohio State game went, it's not going to be great. But maybe he gives him a game. I mean, he's only one game away from his win goal, so hopefully he meets that. But I do expect him to go on this block, and then he has no BB Cup games going on. Next team, Nebraska. He's played. Oh, I think this Minnesota game was. Yeah, so I think I missed it, but I think Matt played this Minnesota game since I talked last. I could be wrong. But regardless, a really close one because unfortunately Matt just wasn't quite able to come away with the victory. Lost it by 1. I just don't have any other games to talk about from Nebraska. So Matt lost this game by 1. So good for D Ward for being able to win this one. I think this is actually the one I used the analogy for, where I said I'm going to pick red, which means Nebraska will win because it'll be so close. And typically Matt loses close games, but he was able to win a close game against Michigan State, so I guess he split his close games. And then for Nebraska-wise, he hasn't played his game against Northwestern or USC. I guess I'll go in and do that after I record the pod. I'll set a timer. Hey Siri, set a timer for 23 minutes and 22 seconds. So when that goes off, it'll remind me to do it. And I should be done with the podcast 23 minutes. Let's see. How long am I going for? Yeah, I'll be done 23 minutes. Okay, so there's only one game to preview for Nebraska. He plays UCLA. It is on the road. I think Vic actually wins this one just because, I don't know, there's just something about Vic's style of play I really like. And I think given Nebraska was barely able to beat Michigan State, I think it being at UCLA is enough of an advantage for Vic to utilize. He utilizes his quarterback really well. So I think he's able to utilize his quarterback really well again and come away with the victory at home against Nebraska. And then D-Ward has a Beefy Cup game against Jokers, which I think would be good to watch. But I'm sure I talked about that last time. Still hasn't been played quite yet. Oh, man. No, I'm not going to sneeze. Okay, no. Okay, and then next team, we got Northwestern. He hasn't played any games since I talked with you guys last. And then he has a Beefy Cup game against Big Red. I hope they play that. That'd be kind of fun to watch. I always like watching Big Red streams. They're fun. He's very talkative with his chat. It's always enjoyable. But he has, Bruce Bagel has 2 games coming up this block. He's playing at USC. I think this one K-Dot wins. Not easily by any means, but I do think K-Dot's able to come away with the victory. Given kind of, if I look at Bruce Bagel's track record, I think he would play Vic very close. Or he played Vic very close. I think K-Dot would play Vic close as well. Then played Robbie close. I think K-Dot would. The K-Dot's probably already played Robbie now that I think about it. Yeah, K-Dot did play Robbie. He was able to win by 21. So I think K-Dot's able to win this one. Kind of gets things a little bit back on track for a USC team that's been struggling a bit. And then his other game I've touched on already. It's at home. It's against U of M. And I do think Bruce Bagel wins this one just so that being at home. It's just tough for me to pick Bryce Underwood to win a game on the road, unless the opponent kind of implodes on themselves a little bit, which I think is what happened to KDOT. Just kind of wasn't able to finish, or I think Bruce Bagel kind of has a little bit more experience playing in P5 level competition. I think he's able to finish his drives and is able to come up with a huge upset victory if you were to win it as a 2-5 team going in the block. Okay, then we got the best team in the land, Ohio State Buckeyes, the perennial #1. If you're voting for anyone else in their poll, I don't really get it. I know, why don't they have a name? Like, they have a trophy. I'll look it up, Andy. They literally have a trophy, like, they play for the George Jewett Trophy. Like, why don't they just write George Jewett Trophy? Like, it's dumb. It is established in 21, so I don't know. Oh, George Jewett's the first black player in Big Ten history, and he played for both Michigan and Northwestern. That's cool. Learn something new every day. Yeah, I don't know why they don't even have to just write the name of the trophy on there. Okay, regardless, Ohio State, Penn State hasn't been played yet. Going to be a great game. But Ohio State's other games from this upcoming block, because I don't think he played this Nindler. I think he'd already played this Nindler game. Maybe he didn't. He won by 24. But he's got Purdue. It's going to be an easy win. Then he's got UCLA. It's also going to be an easy win. There's not really much to say, you know. Like, the Ohio State schedule just doesn't have that many crazy games on it. And then he's still has to play Texanol in the Beefy Cup, so hopefully that happens. That would probably be a pretty good game. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole lot for me to say about Ohio State. You know, it's like the game day and the game day shows. Sometimes I think they talk a lot about like the best teams and like, oh, where are they ranking and stuff. But Ohio State is one they miss on the game day show. Unfortunately, it's going to kind of be talked a little bit over on the Big Pod as well, because like, what is there for me to say? Like, he's just going to keep winning games. Like, when we get to the Big Ten championship, then like there'll be something to say because he might lose it. But oh, they did. Good call, Andy. Yeah, he beat Texanol at Oklahoma 31-0. So I don't know. Is he going to beat Texanol by 31 again? Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if they'll play again then. No, some guys are weird with the beef. Okay. Okay. Next team. Yeah, Ohio State's going to win every game. Oregon, same kind of thing. Probably going to win every game. You played this game against Pat since I last talked with you guys. I was able to win it. I think this was it was more of a big test for Pat than a big test for Shell. So good to see Shell win it. I think actually the bigger game in my mind was this game against Rutgers. Oh, man. No. Oh, I'm not going to sneeze. Okay. Was this game against Rutgers where he was able to win by 28 on the road. This is one I kind of had said during the pod that I thought it was kind of a trap game for Shell. Definitely was not expecting him to win by 28. But I think it kind of shows a lot more so how bad Chrome's defense is than anything, but also how good Shell is at offense if your defense is that poor. So kind of speaking of defenses that might struggle, I kind of alluded to it already with this game being, this game's at Iowa though. So maybe a little bit more of a chance for Brady with it being at Iowa, but I don't see it happening. I don't think Brady's defense just isn't that good, and I think Shell's kind of locked in right now. I see him. He's really been dominating all his opponents. He's yet to play a game within a score. Yeah, his closest game was Pat, and he beat him by 16. So yeah, I fully expect him to finish the season undefeated, considering he has Iowa, Minnesota, USC, Washington left. So no crazy games remaining on the schedule. And then BB Cup wise, he has a game against Houston in the knockout stage. So I think he wins that one pretty easily too. So yeah, so I expect Shell to beat Iowa for sure, and then his other game is at home, so I definitely think he's going to win, and it's against Matt. I don't think it's going to be particularly close, so I do expect he comes away with the victory here as well. Okay, and then next team, we got the one guy in the chat, Andy. He's played I think he'd already played all these games. Yeah, he's gonna play Ant Reigns, which I know Ant's kind of weird with scheduling. You know, like he'll be like AWOL forever, and then all of a sudden in the beefy, he'll be AWOL forever, and then all of a sudden he's there, and you play him. That's how it was for me at least. Both times I played him. But hopefully you guys get that game, and I think it'd be kind of good. But I remember you kind of kicked his butt with Buffalo, right? Yeah. So maybe not the closest game. But in terms of games Andy does have coming up, again, Ohio State game, going to be great. Not sure when that's going to get played. I'll check after I record the podcast, just to kind of do my due diligence. But I don't want to make this one extended. And then the games he has coming up, great game. Excited for it. It's against the Hoosiers. I think this is really a who's who game. Who's legit, who isn't. Okay, this weekend. Sounds good. Yeah, always family stuff coming up. I know you guys have so many different things to be juggling. That's why I appreciate you guys getting all your stats, and I'm so impressed when I was looking at all your stat pages. You guys do a really good job, and then getting all your games in too. Yeah, so this Indiana game, with it being at home, I think Andy wins it, because I do think... no, I must have picked Pat. Yeah, because I have no recollection of picking Andy. So I have to, obviously, I can't pick Andy when I'm talking about Andy and Pat. When I'm talking about Pat, like, what are we doing there? So I do think Pat's going to win it. It'll be a very close game. Especially, I think Andy using shells like he does, I think is going to help him a ton. Because I think that's what Pat struggles with the most, is when he's like, oh, this guy's in cover 2. And it's like, wait, it was a cover 2 shell. It's actually cover 3. Like, that zone was covered when I thought it was going to be open. I think that's what Pat throws the majority of his picks, is when guys do that. So we'll see how that goes. And then, like I said, I think Andy's able to stop the run a little bit better. But I think Pat's kind of figured out his run game a decent amount. And given how that USF game went, I do think Pat's going to come away with the victory. And then if we look at Andy's other game, this is a game I definitely think Andy's going to win. Even with it being on the road, I think his style of play suits beating Raptor really well. I know when I played Andy, like, he does a good job of disguising his coverages, which can be frustrating if you're someone who's not the best passer. I don't think Raptor's the best passer in the world. Really likes to use his tight end. I think that's something Andy picks up on, defends really well. So I think a lot of it's just like Andy's good at picking up tendencies, and Raptor has quite a few too many tendencies that Andy will be able to pick up on and shut him down. So I think Andy's going to go 1-1 in this block. And then, like I said, the game against Ant Reigns of Bowling Green, hopefully it gets played. Okay. Next team, Purdue, Robbie. Always like talking about Robbie. He's a very positive guy and very active. So good for him for taking on the big challenge of being Purdue. And he's done a pretty good job with it so far. He's able to beat Minnesota and able to beat Louisiana. But then, I guess if we kind of talk about his most recent games, like I said, this game against Michigan, unfortunately wasn't quite able to come away with the victory, but kept it really close. 17-6, impressive to hold a team that much better to only 17 points. But unfortunately, you score 6 points, you're not going to win many games. And then his games this block, unfortunately, I think are going to be two pretty lopsided games. He's got Ohio State. Unfortunately, it's at home. But I just don't see a way in which he keeps this one close. And then his other game is on the road. It's at Washington, who's another guy who I think is really good at utilizing overall advantages in Dubin. I think Dubin wins that one pretty handily as well. So I think Robbie's big chances to still get a win. I think he can give. I could see him giving Pat some problems. I don't know why. I just feel like for some reason he'll give Pat some problems, but I don't see him giving Ohio State and Washington much, unfortunately. Okay. And then next team we got Rutgers. Chrome's kind of cooled down a little bit. He had a hot start to the year and hasn't really been able to continue that. Like I said, I kind of touched on the Oregon game before. Wasn't really close. A little surprising because it's kind of a game Shell typically struggles with, so it was impressive to see Shell dominate it as much as he did, which kind of tells me Chrome's defense is really a lot more porous than I thought it was going to be. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, that sounded so weird. I'm so sorry. I I said, oh yeah, because I was going to sneeze. I thought, like, oh yeah, I'm going to sneeze on it. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. Don't clip that. Oh, okay. And then he's playing Maryland. So he's playing Maryland at home. Like I said, I think Wilds is someone who understands how to play the game just well enough that I think he's going to cause problems for Chrome, who's someone who's just really bad at defense. And I think Wilds is good enough at defense to be able to slow Chrome down. So I do think Wilds is able to win this one, but it's going to be very high scoring, given Wilds isn't typically the best pass defender. Okay. And then, does Chrome have a beefy game? Oh, he beat Vic and Beefy. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was able to beat Vic and Beefy by 24, so Chrome is moving on to round of 32. Speaking of Vic, he's the next team. Vic had 3 games? Yeah, he's played 3 games, because I think he'd already played Andy when I did the last one. So, the Michigan State game, like I said, incredible game, was super fun to watch. Vic was in the live chat a lot for how close that game was. I thought it was kind of funny. Then also played Maryland. Wilds is able to come away with the 3-point victory, and then his other game was against Pat, and Pat kind of dominated him, which pretty much what I was expecting. But then his games this block, I think he has a game that is winnable. Definitely winnable for Vic. I think this is one he wins, because I think he uses Nico so well. There's not a ton of guys in the league that utilize their quarterback in the run game as much as Vic does, so I think because of that, it kind of throws D Ward off, and that causes him to come away with the victory. And then his other game, it's not going to be close. There's just no way. There's no way UCLA competes with Ohio State. I'm sorry. Hopefully Vic proves me wrong, and he keeps it close, and then he sends me another DM where he's like, gosh, dude, I'm not going to keep it close, huh? No way, but I just don't see it. And then, of course, you have to remember Vic has a 2-game win goal, and he's already won 3 games, so playing with house money at this point. Okay, next team, USC. So K-Dot played a couple games since I last talked with you guys. One of them was against Notre Dame. Super tight game, super competitive, only lost by 6. Controlled the ball really well. Yeah, see, this one says battle for the trophy. It should just say battle for the George, what was his name? George Pruitt or something? George Jewett, yeah. It should just say battle for the George Jewett. Well, that's kind of weird, because it's a battle for a guy. George Jewett Trophy, that's what it's saying. Whatever. Okay, so he played this game against Notre Dame. RB said he did a really good job of controlling the ball. It was actually kind of fun to watch. I went and watched it back a little bit. K-Dot has some nice little, like, pressure packages that he kind of mixes in. He used one of them a little bit too much, but we kind of had a conversation about it. I think he understands. He was using it more as a base defense, which I know, like, in the NDL, you're supposed to mix it up a little more is kind of the idea. And then his game against 6, unfortunately, lost this one as well, which I was a little surprised by. I thought, especially Michigan being on the road, K-Dot would be able to come away with a victory. So it was interesting to see 6 win this one. I think maybe a little lower on 6 than I should be. But then for USC's games coming up this block is Northwestern. They're both at home, so I should put them over here. He has Northwestern at home. I do think he wins this one just because I think he... Man, I must have talked about this game before. Did I pick Bruce Bagel to win it? I don't know why I would have. No. I think K-Dot's going to win this one just because I think he is going to figure some things out, and I think he's going to kind of stop the parts of the field where the game's really going to be decided, like I think he's going to figure out the red zone. I think he's going to figure out how to not turn the ball over, and that's really going to help him. And then I think in this other game against Iowa, I think he wins this one as well because I think as a former top 5 player, top 5 Xbox player in NCAA football, I think he's going to be really good at picking up on tendencies, and I think he's going to recognize those tendencies that Brady has that kind of tip off what he's going to do, and Brady's just so mentally checked out. It's not going to go well for him. Your key. And then next team. So I think K-Dot goes 2-0 this block. And the next team, I don't know, he's been kind of AFK. I don't know what's up with Duvid. He works late hours, so he might just be having just not having good hours to get stuff in. So I assume that's what's going on. But he has a couple games coming up. I have no games to talk about for him because he hasn't played any since I last talked. But he has a couple games coming up. One's on the roads at Nidler. I think Duvid wins this one pretty easily. And then the other one, alright, hopefully I muted that before I sneezed into the mic so it wasn't super loud. And then the other one he has is Purdue. And I think he wins this one pretty easily. I put it the wrong way. He has Purdue at home. I think he wins this one pretty easily as well. So I think Duvid goes 2-0 this block. And then he has a Beefy Cup game against Jet, which that'll be kind of interesting. Jet's had some huge wins as of late, so it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, so I think I'll have to check up what's going on with Duvid, but hopefully he gets his games in and figures it out. I like Duvid, he's cool. Nice guy, but I don't think there's any way he retains Washington, so we're going to have a lower draft pick next year, which kind of stinks. Alright, last team, Wisconsin. JD, he played D-Candy, lost by 24. Still has to play Shell. That one's not going to go great for him. Let's play Washington. I think this one goes better than I'm going to expect, but I do think Washington wins this one very easily. And then his other game against Pat, there's just no way. I know I rib on Pat sometimes, but there's just no way he doesn't win this. Yeah, there's just no way. So unless Pat throws like 5 interceptions, he's going to win this one too. So unfortunately, kind of all eyes on this Week 14 showdown between JD and Matt, which all of a sudden is looking a lot less like a toilet bowl, with Matt winning 2 games and improving his record at 3-6, while JD's still sitting at 0-7. So always hope, man. I always hope guys get at least one win. I think JD's best chance of getting a win is going to be Week 14. So hopefully he gets that one there, and fortunately it's on the road. But we'll see. That's talk about in the next episode, because first you got to focus on Washington and Indiana. So that's all the teams. Pick my winners and losers. Unfortunately, these two actually played each other. My big winner for this since last episode is easily Pat. Of course, he did lose the game to Shell, so not a total winner, but he, like I said, that Michigan State game, I 100%, when he threw that pick down 7 in the 4th, I thought the game was over. I thought he had just lost to Michigan State, but then he was able to lock in, get a stop, score 21 unanswered. I'm pretty sure he did score 21 unanswered and come away with a 7-point victory. Super impressive, and I think it's kind of telling that he might be able to turn this around, might be able to sneak into the CFP. And then the big loser, unfortunately, is the guy that Pat beat, because, I mean, if you have the ball up 7 in the 4th, you gotta finish that. I mean, I don't care who you're playing, that has to be a win. So very disappointing. Raptors got to be disappointed with that. And then especially throw in the fact that he lost to Minnesota by 1. Definitely my big loser for the week, because he easily could have been 3-0, and his 3 close games. And he had a huge win against Vic, so it wasn't a complete loss. But if his record's all of a sudden 5-3 and he's 4-1 in conference, I mean, you could be having a conversation that, like, oh, do we need to look out for this guy? I mean, how good is he doing? But then all of a sudden it's like, no, he's just kind of struggling. And hopefully he meets his one goal. So definitely a big loser for the week. But hopefully Raptor turns it around. I do think he's gotten a lot better, and I could easily see him win out. But I think he's going to have a huge test against Andy coming up in a couple days. And hopefully, I do think Andy's going to win it, but hopefully it's a great game, because I look forward to watching it. And I appreciate anyone who did tune into this episode. I was able to keep it under 50 minutes, which I think is kind of the perfect length for one of these podcasts. If you do times at 25 minutes, totally manageable. I accidentally backed out, but you got the chips. I'm Chip, and as always, thanks for listening. Long at the NDL. And I think it's only appropriate. I think it's only appropriate I do this. Let me see if I can do it. is, in honor of the big W, I'm going to take 15-second moment of silence. Rest in peace, Weasel. You big bird. You will be missed. But I do think it was the right decision, and hopefully the live chat kind of gets a lot more positive without someone coming in and calling people birds and cursing at the admin. So sorry to end on a somber note, but I just felt like I had to say something about it with it happening today. Regardless, good luck, guys. Way to get your games in. Way to put your stats in. Look forward to watching the games. And as always, thanks for listening. Long live the NDL, and fire up chips.